Welcome to the blackawakening.com. I'm your host, spiritual practitioner 322 Peppy Black Sun. Today we're going to discuss a movie titled Cloned Tyrone. This particular movie depicts the psychological warfare that they deploy against indigenous black communities across this nation. This social engineering project called Tyrone is about you and the tactics they deploy against you. Let's examine this. In this Netflix movie titled Cloned Tyrone, which is starring John Boyega, who character name is Fontaine, Jamie Foxx, who character name is Slick Charles, Teyonah Parris, who character name is Yo-Yo. Now, Fontaine is a degenerate drug dealer. Slick Charles is a flamboyant pimp. And Yo-Yo is what we call a street working girl. Now, in this particular film, it's a social engineering experiment on indigenous black communities, on the stereotypes in the indigenous black communities. And for an example, they have many of hidden messages in this movie and subliminals. We're going to point out a few. Now, for example, we have Fontaine. Now, every day he goes to the liquor store to purchase a 40 and some scratch tickets. Now, he scratches these scratch tickets in different directions and still loses. The message here is no matter where you start at in the game, it was designed for you to lose while selling you the dream of winning. In this next scene, you have these nefarious controllers of this social experiment that's using religion as a form of control and using the heart of the indigenous black communities to control them, its residents, which is the church. They know, especially in impoverished indigenous black communities, where there's more churches than other areas, where there's more police than other areas, and still more crime than other areas. In another scene, you have the perm, what they call the mind control chemical in these relaxers. They continuously tell black women that their natural hair is unprofessional while they advertise in perm and relaxers that are the best way to straighten their hair like Europeans to be professional like them, which is another form of mind control. Fast foods has most indigenous black neighborhoods in a psychological headlock. Easily accessible, highly advertised, and cheap. In the film, the chicken has a flour-like, white, powdery, psychiatric substance that made those who consume laugh. In reality, fast foods are unhealthy and highly addictive. In most cases, that's all some of our people can afford to eat. They know in most poor indigenous black communities, they will be forced to eat unhealthy, cheap foods versus buying more expensive, healthy foods in grocery stores. Now, in this scene, Yo-Yo has a stack of Nancy Drew books. They're titled The Hidden Staircase. In the books, Nancy Drew had to solve a baffling mystery in the books. So Yo-Yo finds a secret panel to an underground passage and staircase. She also discovered that people are being held prisoner underground, including her father. Now, in this next scene, they use hip-hop, rap, violence, music, and hurt frequencies to change people's moods and behavior. Now, we heard that most have heard that rap music convinces people, especially in poor indigenous black communities, to partake in violent activities. Now, in this scene, it shows two men fighting when they listen to rap lyrics. Due to the mind control powers over the clones. But when they hear the mellow, loving words of R&B, they stop fighting, they hug one another, because there are no hardcore lyrics to trigger violence and angry emotions. in those frequencies. Now refer to my video. It's titled Larry Ingram Jr. Case, Psychological and Spiritual Warfare. I go further in the details with Hertz frequencies and how it affects people's emotions. Now in this next scene, it was a subtle subliminal mention of gentrification. Okay. In this scene, a character named Nixon stated, "It's easier to control people with less," meaning poor indigenous black people in indigenous black communities. "If they had their own resources, it would be very difficult to persuade or control them." So they understand the design of the plan as far as when it's social engineering. Now, the next scene is civil war in the neighborhoods. They promote civil war with rival gangs, i.e. hip-hop music and etc. You had the drug dealers and other devices they deploy. They use to divide the people and the communities. This is mind control tactics to stop unity in indigenous black communities. Then you have another scene where they find all this information and the hood comes together. The drug dealers, the working girls, the rival gangs, they come together and unite in this scene in the same communities to fight against the outsiders that's trying to tear apart what they call home. So in this film, the hood only wins when they all come together. Understand this. It's only when we all come together on one accord where all these things and all these things you're experiencing will come to an end in this social engineering experiment. You have another scene that had a girl that was highlighted that was missing in various missing person flyers throughout the movie. She was reunited with her family. And then another scene where they advertise safe science throughout the film. And when someone has to continuously emphasize that something is safe, it's not. Many advertisements and posters were shown throughout this movie, like this one. Working together makes us all stronger. Human embetterment through safe science. What these nefarious people was doing was clearly not safe. Understand this. And then you have Erykah Badu song, They Cloned Tyrone, which I'm going to leave in the bottom of the description. So in conclusion, family, understand this social experiment titled Codename Tyrone is about you in these indigenous black communities. All the degenerate behavior and atrocities that's happening in the indigenous black communities is under Tyrone. Understand this. This is by design. It's not a coincidence. So in order to neutralize Tyrone, you have to have a 180-degree corrective change. Understand this. When you have that change, then Tyrone will no longer exist. Understand this. He's telling you in plain sight. So the question is, what you going to do? Are you going to continue to ignore what's in plain sight? Or are you going to make the change? Now, they continuously making these mockeries about indigenous black people. They continuously making these psychological warfare movies, Jedi mind trick movies about our people. Understand this. This is a war of the mind. Understand this. It's the mind, body, and soul. There's a balance. You have to be vigilant in all three aspects. Your mind, body, and soul, family. and make this change. We know it takes courage to do what's right. It takes courage to go to your 9 to 5, take care of your family, to be upstanding in your communities, to be ridiculed for doing things right. While we know it's easy to ignore everything in plain sight. Very easy to be irresponsible, not caring about anything in your community. But it takes courage to do what's right. Understand this.
So I'm going to leave you in the manner in which I came, with a universal prayer. In the name of the universal creator of heaven and earth and everything in between, please bless my listeners, their family, their friends, and the true believers for when the day of reckoning takes place. For universal creator, you're all wise and all knowing, and unto you we all shall return. But until then, we give you the praise and glory that's due to you from this life into the hereafter. In the name of the universal creator of heaven and earth and anything in between, in your name we pray that this shall be done. So again, family, stay vigilant at all times. Practice self-preservation. Again, like and share. Reach one, teach one. Peace and take care.